Today's look is inspired by robot teen Rebecca Steen. In a similar fashion to Frankenstein, Rebecca was manufactured as a teenager. She considers the mad scientist who creates her father. However, after the disappearance of her father, Rebecca ended up enrolling at Monster High. It's worth noting that in the Girlfriend series versus how she presents in the web series, her character's a little different. Rebecca lived in the 18th century, so in the Girlfriend series, her language is a bit more outdated. However, in the web series, she sounds like a normal teenage girl. One of the things that sticks out about Rebecca is her adrenaline junkie attitude. She has amazing strength, speed, and agility and is immune to pain. However, the perks of being a robot are overshadowed by her being outcasted for not being a real monster. Because she was made artificially and not biologically, she doesn't fit in, but the other monsters embrace Rebecca's differences. Today's look is inspired by Lydia Deets from Beetlejuice, specifically the 2021 Collector doll. In case you didn't know, Mattel releases collector dolls each year, and for 2021, the theme is the Beetlejuice movie. Both Lydia and Beetlejuice come as a set, and they're priced at $90. If you remember from 2020, these collector dolls were Pennywise and the Grady twins from The Shining. If you grew up collecting Monster High dolls, these collector dolls are basically just a more grown-up version of the dolls that we played with as a kid. I cannot wait to see more pictures of these dolls. They are absolutely stunning. I'm a huge fan of Beetlejuice and also Winona Ryder. I can't wait to see what other strange and unusual dolls they come out with. In 2022, Monster High will be coming back with a brand new line of dolls. Today's look is inspired by the 2021 Beetlejuice Collector doll. I recruited my sister to help me do face paint. Do as I say, not as I do, and please don't use body paint on your face. Audrey and I's collaboration on this look is rooted in our love of Beetlejuice. With her theater kid background, she helps me create the dramatic contouring found in the movie. There's just something about the iconic makeup and costuming from Beetlejuice. Audrey's skills combined with my glam goth aesthetic helped create something really beautiful, with a similar feeling as the Collector doll this year. Fun fact about the Beetlejuice movie, in 1989 it actually won the Oscar for Best Makeup. I mean, between the ghost couple, Lydia and Beetlejuice, how could it not? Beetlejuice and Monster High have this wonderful crossover of audiences that love all things strange and unusual. I think these dolls were the perfect choice for the Collector dolls this year. If next year's dolls were also from a Burton film, I would love to see Victor and Emily from Corpse Bride. Let me know who you'd want to see. Today's look is inspired by CA Cupid, again. TikTok removed my original CA Cupid look, so I'm doing it again. This time, I still tried to do a 1920s inspired look, but instead of shades of black and brown, I'm using pink. I tried to incorporate that original style of CA Cupid as much as possible. I loved CA Cupid's look in Monster High. However, when she went through a portal and transferred to Ever After High, I was kind of disappointed with how much they mellowed down her look. I really liked the idea of CA Cupid being a bone elemental, which is a shame because I think Ever After High has some really good character designs, but failed with CA Cupid. What do you think? Today's look is inspired by the werecat Katrine Demieux. Katrine was born and raised in Scaris, France. She's an artist that's absolutely enamored with the city. Unfortunately, being an artist results in Katrine being a major perfectionist. After a big incident in the Scaris fashion scene, Katrine packs her bags. She bids her friends and family farewell and heads for Monster High. When arriving at Monster High, Katrine and all of the other Monster Exchange students are greeted with a warm welcome party. While it wasn't easy to adjust at first, Katrine found her niche in the art department at Monster High. Like Katrine, I found my niche here on TikTok. I love doing Monster High makeup videos and discussing lore in the process, and I think I'm ready to branch out into other fandoms that I want to do this style of content with. I want to try Ever After High, Undertale, Sanrio, Adventure Time, and so many more. I don't plan on ending my Monster High videos, just expanding the fandoms that I indulge in. I'd love if you tell me what you want to see, and thank you for your support. Today's look is inspired by Calliope Jellington. It's believed that Calliope is the daughter of the gelatinous cube or the blob. However, her origin is unknown. She was made in a lab by a mysterious scientist with the initials RS. The scientist thought that the lab was an inappropriate place to raise a baby. So Calliope was put into a jar and handed to a traveling circus. She was then adopted by the ringmaster and his wife. Over time, Calliope grew at an astronomical rate. Outgrowing her jar and her parents, she stands now at 15 feet and 2 inches. Calliope finds herself the most comfortable when she's in the carnival environment. Her passion for the performance and arts is unmatched. Due to budget constraints, Monster High almost lost their arts departments. But Calliope swept in and held a carnival as a fundraiser. She saved the arts and helped other monsters express themselves through art. Today's look is inspired by Elizabet, the vampire queen. Elizabet grew up in Transylvania and was a friend of Draculaura's. As a young vampire, she dreamed of becoming an actress, but her uncle forbade her from doing so. Elizabet was next in line to become vampire queen, but the night before her coronation, she ran away. For 400 years, the vampires had no queen, and Elizabet began her career as actress Veronica von Vamp, her most iconic movie being Vampire Majesty, which is a series of movies resembling Twilight. Vampires get impatient awaiting their queen's return. They decide to just pick a new one. Initially, Draculaura and her friends were very excited for her to become vampire queen. However, this excitement came to a halt when Draculaura realized she was not the actual vampire queen. The main cast then follows clues leading them to Hauntlywood to find Elizabet. And when they find her, she finds a way to combine being queen with her acting career and save the vampires. Today's look is inspired by Twia, the daughter of the boogeyman. Twila is extremely shy and prefers to hang out in the shadows. Twila long thought of herself as invisible until she met Howleen Wolf. When Howleen finds a genie lamp and rubs it, she finds herself given 13 wishes. Gigi, the genie, tells her that she can only do things that are selfless, otherwise there will be consequences. However, as Howleen slowly starts to wish away her 13 wishes, she finds herself choosing more and more selfish things. Twila and the main ghouls are the ones to help Howleen snap back to reality and become nice again. Although Howleen and Twila are extremely different, the two of them find a lot of common ground and care for each other deeply. Their contrasting perspectives allowing them to see things that the other would have easily missed. Today's look is inspired by Gigi Grant, the Genie of 13 Wishes. As a genie, Gigi has spent most of her life trapped within her lantern, waiting for someone to find her and grant their wishes. She's been alone in her lantern for so long, she doesn't know exactly how old she is. She became increasingly lonely and miserable, only experiencing joy when someone would find her lantern, allowing her to grant their wishes. Gigi longed for company, just to have a friend. One of the brothers, Grimm, took pity on Gigi, so he waited until the next person found her lantern. He whispered into the finder's ear and told them to wish that Gigi had a friend. When the wish was granted, Gigi's shadow turned into her new companion, Wisp. Gigi was absolutely elated that she finally had some company, especially in the confines of her lantern. However, every time that Gigi's lantern was discovered, Gigi got to leave to grant wishes, leaving Wisp behind to wander the shadows alone. Today's look is inspired by Wisp, Gigi's shadow. When the lantern's finder wished that Gigi had a companion, her shadow took form as Wisp. At first, the two were extremely close, like sisters. While the lantern was enclosed for hundreds of years unfound, the two had each other to rely on. But when another finder came along, Wisp became jealous. She hated being left alone while Gigi got to grant wishes. Her jealousy grew until she began to follow Gigi as she granted wishes and whisper in the finder's ear. She would whisper selfish wishes that would enact her revenge. When the brothers Grimm heard of this, they created a mirror that would reverse the effects of Wisp's manipulation. Gigi protected the finders from Wisp using this mirror until it broke into 13 pieces and Wisp hid each piece. When Howleen found the lantern, Wisp tried to manipulate her, but her friends put the mirror back together, and Howleen's last wish was to make Wisp the genie of the lantern. Today's look is inspired by Wydonna Spider, daughter of Arachne. In Greek mythology, Arachne was a mortal woman who had the incredible talent of weaving. Arachne was so sure of her skill that she challenged the goddess Athena to a weaving contest. Athene's tapestry was beautiful and intricate and displayed many of the horrors that the Olympian gods did to the mortals. Athena was so enraged that she destroyed the tapestry and turned Arachne into a spider. As the daughter of Arachne, Wydonna is extremely gifted. With her 6 arms, she can sew and draw. Wydonna's multitasking skill and creativity allows her to make comics. She draws and writes her comics herself, centering around a character called Webberella that's a self-insert. Quidona and Gulia work together on the comic book series, where superhero alter ego Weparella fights crime and brings justice to evil villains.